talingim. Oh you تدور البلولة لمبلتي قرين الملك كرم رمضا
Hey, good afternoon, Sal. Malung la dosog mergid rogui, ko mal mesal guk no similtunin al gotulur. Tia dia al balsel tial BERIUS ALLISON indi ngaria mal to gubetsel okkargi el mlatial min ding ramam. Man soma man ngoiti tril mem tedi mo aisa tetele la ureri. Luaset tial ureri ng makarang e gora ngosugi de tial to era klingila e hotel belau tial da se PNMS Palau National Marine Sanctuary. Malwaise edibok guaise galerul gora announcement e gora boxio gatiral okkargi. Sel got announcement tawase sel talngim film festival Wednesday ra kapsingi. Yang morning ra gora rip center lomura 8 6 mo 8 etiamo godmo o mesagegi del film el trigel gal skula min tmok le osi silta godmo award igel gora wal price mo trigel mlo o trigel mlo si mlo gotra ma ongerung regal klaiwa tial klaiwa dana a ongerul announcement ta se sel vacancy ra security officer adir open e close ra October 27 malsum ngari adro ga interested en malsi il dimera agora center e ora e una application e filering el gel seguir al raurore el lanzo algo introduce ra trigal el okyak sangri al sils trigal tedel okyak lo begeder al sils a aurora a clol dial el Clela Ocean Explorer Trust combali el Clela Ocean Explorer Trust mangel wal gora aptri trigal scientist lo rosei ngargingel Daniel WAGNER gea wal chief scientist segi del el dial ngargingel chief operating officer el ALLISON Fundi sorry en mangel director sel outreach education and outreach el Megan Cook sel el education and outreach es el el programa aquí de la Aquarium Center and so Daniel ALLISON and Megan, thank you so much this afternoon for coming to the show and just tell us a bit about who you are and what sort of things are you planning to do in Palau. How can we turn your the things you do in Palau, how can it relate to kind of helping us with this? I understand you guys been working in like deep water exploration and stuff like that, so it would be a good opportunity for us to receive you next year and do some work together. And so at this time, sorry, I already introduced you guys. At this time, I would like to just maybe at this moment just talk a little bit about the work you're doing, and I understand you, ALLISON and Megan are from the mainland, and you're from Hawaii. So just tell us a little bit. It's so far apart. How did you get together and get into this work and try to make something good to the marine environment?
Ali, aloha. Good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here. So yeah, I'm Daniel Wagner, Chief Scientist for the Ocean Exploration Trust. And this week we're here to celebrate the anniversary of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary and to really start the process of planning an expedition that will bring the ship that's owned and operated by the organization that we work for, the Ocean Exploration Trust. That ship will be coming here to Palau a year from now, and will explore for the first time some of the deepest parts of the sanctuary. And so this week, ALLISON, Megan, and myself are going to be here meeting with various stakeholders of the sanctuary, scientists, managers, educators, and really to try to understand some of the priority needs in terms of science, management, and education. And we envision over the next year to work together to plan this expedition together. In terms of the different backgrounds and what you mentioned, so yeah, the organization that we work for is a global organization. We're celebrating our 15th anniversary, and we've been around the world. The ship has been in many parts of the world. Here in the Pacific for the last 5 years, and a lot of our work is really supporting the science of marine conservation areas like the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. So yeah, we're very excited to be here.
I'm ALLISON FUNDIS, and I just want to add to that a little bit. So one of the reasons that we're here is also a commitment that the U.S. made last year at the 2022 Oceans Conference. And that was the commitment by the U.S. to Palau to help map and characterize the exclusive economic zone, so 200 nautical miles off the coast of Palau. So we have the capability, we have the technology, we have a wonderful ship that we use as a platform for training opportunities. And so we're really here to help fulfill some of that commitment as well.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Ali, everyone. We're so happy to be here. And one of the things I'm excited to share is that, as you said, this is just the beginning. There's going to be so many ways to get involved, whether you're a student or an educator or a person who loves the ocean or a person who's learning all the ways that the ocean is part of your life. We have so many tools about how we connect to the ocean, whether it's going to the shore, whether you're a diver or a fisher. We get to help fill in some of the deeper, darker parts of the ocean there and take people to these places that are otherwise not places you could put on a mask and fins and go and see. And so we're really excited to invite people to connect and to learn with the Palau people about your ocean backyard.
I see. Sayid avalela mulgo lo setial gombali lorori amlamo 15 years in existence. Itirga amsuba yegid mol the bela bulu ogore متملاسم لوبات تيال ديال المورا يجيل تيال ديليرا لوبال مي امسوبا يجيل نيا ادريغا مال ادل مو غورا مثل ولا كريل المول esto se tialo morole wada lere almei agora dime mitrar agora malasm agora ogelo sei al sum tunga dial el mera nexir ngara el mal sorir adr bel almo mdngi matmo sabil mera nexir tmokl malasm المومسا يجيد السواد المومدنgi saya قلت تلت يجيد الورور ملا مطري مي مراغل لو تيال قمباليتي I believe your organization is Ocean Exploration Trust. Ang Christian organization lo rin ya say Ocean Exploration Trust. Tukura malas mildi amalritl alsil tial mol aldablo se ngara alsil. Engay gidil megan engay o ay selo say sel albonin sel Ocean our Ocean I got last year. Ya tara direk mokter tial lobat tial dial el mea se sera lastin en goram lomo trok la sei amrige la ulingit la sei Ocean Trust kame mngsura belau rega gidel tial PNMS tial blue basiotir leng dia amal gora durtir ma adong urtir maka mngsitrir el gut mklisel uror se mobol mdagal urol masasel urol la sengwara tetelel mobol bolgaria cloud ngirtil girel metia gora wal direk sem la commitment amrige lo se Amrigel amo ngoswira abelau el girel tial lomsubra atial blul basio yang gagi dele yang gagi dele yang gagi del taradil sorry Allison, right? American ngay gidi ako kourol wa selurere la singe. Ngorol lo bantri trigay gidil wadalel ma Allison. Ya o sisilta me say gidil information lolaria dalel ma American. Algo Allison el may e ko balo ay sin ma blue mar adra blue mo dinga se o tial dabel bela wagrate telela alsele ngara mangaral gora arma ayer rogul tinla klangar al seltial de belbelaw ay ge awreri tigal tede magdamal mina surir el al sil set dimne el gora dimomitra el al tab tagar tial belal dimomitra es el tial merragra otro el buil etira guadial el men mot tagaidlom sube and so it's very interesting the work you're doing Daniel. What sort of exploration are you doing out in the out there?
Yeah, excellent question. So we do have three different kind of technologies that we use to really explore these deep water environments and that we'll be bringing to Palau. What's really unique about our vessel is we have a different suite of mapping sonars, so we collect these really nice maps of the seafloor, and that's going to be a big part of this expedition. Is the majority of the seafloor of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, we don't yet have good maps of what the topography looks like. And then we also have remotely operated vehicles, which are robots, so submersibles. They're able to go down to 6,000 meters depth and
6,000 meters. Wow.
And collect these really high resolution, high definition video of what's down there, what kind of animals we might see, what kind of what's living down there. But then the thing that we're most excited about is what we call telepresence technology. So those images, the data, the high resolution video, we stream that live over the internet. So anyone that has an internet connection can watch in real time exactly what we see on the ship. And so this is a really wonderful opportunity for all people in Palau to get to see what's there in their own backyard, the real treasures that we have here in the deep waters. And so we're really excited to bring along everybody to see for the first time some of these deep water environments. And so it's a wonderful tool that we use not just for science, so we have space on the ship to bring typically about 30 or so scientists that sail on the ship, but we can bring hundreds of scientists that can participate from shore, that can also watch and speak to us on the ship. And even more powerful than that is as a tool for outreach and education. Now anyone can see exactly, and so it's not uncommon that we have thousands, if not millions, of people watch. And that's really what we're trying to do, is get as many people excited about this work. And understand, really in the year planning up to this, is understanding what part of the sanctuary, what areas should we focus on, who are the key people that help us connect this work here in Palau. So very excited.
I see. Oi, avalia la mulko lo sel dial. Ang malungular ni lo balmay langan yakal del toy selemera nexira ara on trilbu le tomomrun agoteng ngaria dong lobang el sebel oiwi tial bertak rablu belau mensebil map tial e wala sang sari rogi lo sing ngara gel gora agora ibuk lumagu gora moded magel gora wal bali sil oiwi tial bertakle la dobel bela rogi mongmos medengel wasay ngarget bol ngargem ngarge gora edligel gora mo tetelera warois saya ako tuloruni ongerung taramal interesting dong lo spering awase selorut tagi dulurior eta tia live tara akrel almol loror yagal image lola sebelangi dilaf ngari akses din ma internet ta sebel ma internet o mes ningi mong wado dula sei kangarab limra sa sabadora tutao dia kangaral moruni mo na internet o mes tirga loro ra o sisulta mara krel almol se ongerul so the mapping and the live streaming, what's the third one? Sorry.
The telepresence, the diving with the remotely operated vehicles.
Ngede ngari sei gidel dong lobang dula sing ngora robot gale do sing ROV. Adil nga radial ako silmong sebel maral ngegit, and of course that ROV can be used to collect samples and stuff. Oy. Sebel sige dil ROV maral mo malako ra sample may mauri ra scientist ako ra study mo din sing wangara ngara tial berteklela akela agawal malubeng wangara ko ra rel klel dele la general mengar sige dil basyo. Collecting samples, various samples from mud samples to rock, whatever, water temperature, everything.
That's correct. So we can collect physical samples, either of a rock, sand, water, but then we also have a suite of sensors on the vehicle that collects, temperature, salinity, oxygen, to get an idea of what the environment is like.
Oh, I see. Maral, what interesting tell. Edi ala lo balmay. Mal beto kasi el gutmok lo. Ya igay igel bebira antara areas el dil gid el adra ora bisenter en dial se del mom tingi. Mang maral ko kluk tu trail dora urulo bintra wa triga gid magukul simil mel masat yal de bera bolbat elo ay sigid lo se ngora tetelel eda kain selt makal musubul matmokot yal de bela bolbat el maral morbudu morway. Wow, very interesting, especially the live the live I was just told the audience that it's going to be live, so at your home if you have access to internet you can actually see while they're doing their work out there. Is that right?
That's right.
Wow, very interesting. Actually, I might try to follow you guys while you're out there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, right now, anyone can go to nautiluslive.org, and we're currently in a 2-week expedition exploring some habitats around the Hawaiian Islands, and so anyone can tune into that website and get a feel what these expeditions are like.
Oh, nga kita dalil was el time adana ngartiang Daniel hindi nga sel segi del dial angara hawar el time mral omsu mang ngidil adal soal mo nga sel lak in el morsel
nautiluslive.org.
nautiluslive.org al sumo ka lak in el morsel el time en semelo mes celular logot bukrira blur hawar el al time. Wow, very interesting, Daniel.
And you can also check it out on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, all the places. So there's more behind the scenes.
Right. Hangga kita, hanggal tarabas el diragal bolgol wasay. Diragal sa edel check arwa gal Twitter, Facebook, agar rogul watlum tingil agal tokora media.
All of them.
Yeah, agar rogul tingil tokora media. Elang seamount, that's the word I was looking for. We don't have a term in that in Palawan, seamount. So basically, when you bring the ship down to Palau, you're going to do the first map of Palau Marine Sanctuary, because I don't think it's ever been done. I think that's the first time so you're gonna know all the valleys, seamounts, and everywhere. And then, so while you're doing the mapping, is there any way you can sort of like see the fish migration?
Excellent question. So we do have different mapping sonars, and most people are interested about just the topography of the seafloor. But we also have a sonar that is specialized at mapping the water column, and what you can see there is where there's aggregation of where there's a lot of life in the water column. So schools of fish you can see, and then obviously we also have cameras on the ROV. So every time it's going up and down, you can see the animals there. And
I see.
And places like here and many other marine sanctuaries where we worked at, you do tend to see a lot of life and a lot of, rarely exciting biodiversity.
Especially around those seamounts. So a seamount is underwater volcanic feature that it rises above the seafloor more than 1,500 meters or more. And so that there's always a lot of fish that aggregate around those areas typically, and so it'll be pretty exciting to see in the biodiversity of that and the corals and all of the life that's going to be down there.
Oh, ya kora dim lectures magugera ngale Daniel wasay. Hindi na simil gora awa umomesa umrole langi kile wasay oy. Ela selde langanya segi del sonar guk muli rabertak gira tora mapping. Enyanganya tara dongu hindi na sonar guk global dio mesetial melaw ngeladao. Man sa edel mo mtingel wasay. Agang angigilang tel del bele langigilang ngarakas kilit del bela rogi engge kita angkala mekanem no do lil wasay ngomsin diligel seamount malumi gele ngora wada seng ngora rois ngara ber teklelada be golegal melme medel ngara tril telal fit stop may gasel ngara dial mangaran di adwes liga yegi da ngi klab ol qora wa bol mugid ba yegi el seamount ra wala daw mong mal interesting teluror mbeto ka sebel el metal dal ngran ngosugi del momdingel girela atogora aigar klangar ngara alsela marine sanctuary. Wow, very interesting. And I understand, when we say deep ocean exploration, I know it takes a lot of logistical effort and working out there where you cannot put on a mask and see the bottom and see where things are. Can you tell us a little bit about how the logistics and how challenging this kind of work?
Absolutely. So it is quite a bit different in terms of the places that we go. I mean, the wonderful thing here in Palau is that you can go offshore and be in deep water pretty quickly. But a lot of the places that we usually go on, it's like several days of going there. And so we have to be self-sufficient on the ship. That's the main thing. There's no kind of stopping. And so there's, we have a really multidisciplinary team on the ship, be it engineers, scientists, but also educators, students. And so it's a well-rounded team that, there's always going to be challenges in terms of especially weather when you're out there and things can break. And but we do have a nice, well-rounded team. So teamwork and working together is really a big part of our mission. It's kind of what we like to do. And, no one can do it. And we recognize that. And so, it's the teamwork. Obviously, technology helps a lot, but it's the people that make this work really shine.
When we're running an expedition, we're out there, we're running for 24 hours a day. And so we rotate people through shifts
there's a shift
on the ship. And we do that because it's pretty expensive to do these big expeditions with ships and robotic vehicles and bringing all these people together. And so we just want to make the most of it, right? We want to make the most impact locally as we can to Palau and collect the most information that we can while we're here. So being able to make sure that you're planning so you're using all your time really efficiently and not missing out on any opportunity.
I see. Oy, gagida Daniel kalimekan lo ay sulasing. Klo ludo da kakaraway gagida lom subo. But to assessel mutokar adal dal. Sorry, how many not necessarily crew, but how many people are involved in this expedition?
So on the ship, we typically have about 50 people on board, and then on shore, depends how many people. We can sometimes have several hundred that support from shore.
Right.
So it's a big operation.
But all the people on the boat are about 50, and that's divided into all these duties you Megan mentioned, and so basically you divide all 50 people into teams of 3 teams or something like that. So there's from 4 to midnight shift. There's a midnight to
You're hired. You got it.
I was involved in this not necessarily an operation like this, but a so-called observer program. And so I gotta understand that a bit about how a ship works, organized. Somebody has to be on watch,
all the time.
Imagine if you all fall asleep and something goes wrong. Anyway, wow, it involves a lot of and once you supply the ship and go out, how many days that the ship can last?
We can be out for probably about a month at a time, and really the limiting factor in that is food and the fresh food. But when we're here, we're probably going to do 2 shorter trips, about 2 weeks each.
Okay. Oy, moral roy da cellular mga sesel to del mora lower and oil to mala ora ka klakdal ora wakal la magral gila talbuil. Hindi ela selbe lower bela ng gegre bel bela mun sibil gukkerul sandel nga ra krele gukbet mi ma supply se gukto 2 weeks. Can you just tell us a little bit about some of the fundings you've done in Papahanao Mokuakea?
So Megan and myself just returned from a voyage where we spent 27 days out there, and we actually had a researcher here from Palau on board, Elsie Tele, that joined our science team. That expedition I anticipate has a lot of similarities. Both of these areas are marine protected areas that are distinguished for their unique biodiversity. So some of the findings are probably similar to what we might expect next year. So we did 12 dives with remotely operated vehicles, spent almost 11 days diving deep. And some truly extraordinary. We found these on seamounts, really on the very first dive of the expedition, a forest of pink corals. In every direction you could see, unbelievable. And just the same density you would see on a shallow water reef, but we were almost 1,500 meters deep. That stood out. Then we had another dive where we were diving 2,500 meters deep, and it was the most diverse ecosystem I'd ever seen at depth. It was corals, sponges, crabs, critters, you name it, but all different varieties, also quite dense. And the third thing that was really excited about this expedition is that we actually got to dive on a few shipwrecks from World War II, from the Battle of Midway. And there's a few of these. So the Battle of Midway is remembered as one of these very significant historic events. So we dove on a few of these the wreck sites. And so there was, whether it was biologists, geologists, chemists, archaeologists, there was a lot of multidisciplinary things on board. And that's really how we like to design these expeditions. We realize that these marine protected areas or marine sanctuaries really protect a whole suite of very diverse resources. And we try to shine a light on every single one of these and show why these areas matter. But Megan, you were there too. What else stood out?
I think one of the things that's so exciting are just the different types of life. If you're used to thinking about, the types of animals you might see on a shallow reef, when we work in the deep sea, when we see these corals, they've spent their entire lifetime in darkness. So they might be, bigger than a person, a couple meters tall, these corals, and they could be hundreds of years old. So it's almost like you're looking back at these kind of ancestors or back into the past to look at these animals and this diversity. And yet we see many kind of familiar characters, octopus, crabs, lobsters, these really interesting and charismatic creatures. So I think the surprise of it, you're in the dark and all of a sudden, these magnificent colorful landscapes, pink and white and orange and blue corals even, these just bright, colorful things coming out of the dark is always really impressive.
سيجد اللولو تبقنيرا أبرتاقلا نديقل سال وضع ستة غادي ساينتيستو مسار واغورق لغراضا مرمراندما مبتوغل غاروس أدغانيا أرحاق سيرا تتليل واغورا أرجالا جيبا غاروس الفيلد تمتماغ أورور ميلان وإيش راسيت تديريق المرا ميدوي إمناسي إلو مسا were you able to see some wrecks while you were تملا ميدويل تريغلو المسرا مرورا وريري مس المسا يجي الريغلو سبيسي del ROB. You say ROB can last the longest ROB time you spend is 12.
So it depends. We actually don't have a limit because we're staffed 24 hours. I think the longest dive is 7 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
So you're saying the ROB is actually you go inside the ROB and then go down?
No one. It's a robot.
Yeah, I thought so.
Like a drone.
Ay melasan lang ang single robot el morio velo la siasira bertak lo la kalekta sampul marang en sebel mol mobdula 7 days ng with the club sale gel robot tangario itong kulmerbabel. Do you have any? I thought you saw when we had that live chat during one of our staff meeting. You weren't inside the ROB, eh?
No.
Oh my goodness! I thought that was the ROB you're driving. Okay, that was the ship.
That's
okay.
the control room, yeah.
Oh, the control. Okay, that's where you sit and control the ROB to go down.
And it kind of
okay.
looks dark. We treat it like this mission control. There's a lot of computer screens and monitors, and we keep it dark so that whether it's the middle of the night or the middle of the day, it looks the same in there, and your eyes kind of get adjusted to the dark, so you're looking out in there. But that's where anyone in the world, if you want to watch on nautiluslive.org, you hear all these people talking, just like here on 89.9. It's a conversation with everybody answering questions and talking with one another. But we're all wearing these cool headsets and just sitting in the dark in that room all together.
And so if people log on to Nautilus live.org, the things they see is coming from that room. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so you will see, if we're diving, you'll see the images of the seafloor. If we're not diving, you'll see one of the other cameras on the ship, and you'll hear the voices of the people on the control room.
This is live,
So it's a really unique opportunity to see also the process of science and the process of exploration, because our organization is really specialized on exploration, so basically going to places that have not yet been surveyed. Chances are almost for certain that we'll find things that no one has ever seen before. And so getting to see that for the very first time and getting to hear the excitement of discovery.
And people can participate too. So we have a feature on our website where people can ask a question. And so if you're watching live and you have a question about something, the people on the ship will answer your question in real time. So you can participate even though you're on shore.
Wow, man, this is really like high tech. I mean, I just hope. So the people on the ship will answer the questions, so not necessarily you.
Right.
Because I'm gonna worry about they start asking questions and distract you from doing your. But there's people over there who can. Okay.
We take time, and so what Allison, when you go to nautiluslive.org, in addition to seeing the video, there's a box there that says "Ask a question," and you type it, and there's several people in the control van that are monitoring that, and then whoever has time answers them.
Wow, man, this is a big operation. And so Daniel, I shall say, Sir Albon, you said you saw pink coral around 15. Did you say 1,500 meters?
That's correct. Yeah,
1,500 meters would be 4,000.
About 4,000 feet.
About 4,000 feet. Malgo Daniel el wasetemnora kmed lewal tela el sagal wala daw e mesa pingel miranda maklol miranda mangwaseng mal interesting tial wala daw leng betoga mal klo adriga bodo dengli al sela daw. It sounds like when it comes to deep water exploration, I would say we barely.
We know very little.
We know very little. Yeah, we know very little.
We've mapped less than 20% of the seafloor, and we've only imaged. So with high resolution less than 1% of the global ocean has been imaged ever before, and so most of this we have no idea what's going to be there.
I see. Malgo Daniel lasing tial ewela daba. Ngwa dirigel lagi dilurol dongot mokra kora deep water exploration medel dirga 1% ra abar teklela blul ada blal mlasib el kora ngot mokra lagi dilurol kora map pringi makaram karangi membluasai el almer belau el gukla ma pertial belagat makli sia gukmo od el selva centra klungel tial de bela blul adel el blada de sabar teklel. Wow, very interesting. And Allison, you said you saw some corals which are about maybe 6-7 feet tall.
Oh, at least, absolutely,
yeah, I see.
Huge.
And you mentioned that this coral could be like centuries and centuries old. I mean, we don't know because we don't have any data.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, now that you've mapped those tall corals, of course you got pretty much an idea of the height and width and all that. So from now on, we can maybe 20 years down the road, we can always go back and see, have they grown, if they have, how much?
Yeah,
it's a beginning of, continuous learning. Very interesting.
And while you say that, so one of the other things that is very unique and exciting about our program is that the data that we collect is publicly accessible. So that means that, in real time, we stream the video. But after our expeditions are over, it all goes into public archives where anyone with an internet connection can download it. You can download the video, you can download the CTD data. And so there's a lot of exploration that happens afterwards, after an expedition. And so we encourage anyone to basically use this data. It's not uncommon that many months, even years after an expedition, someone goes through that data and discovered something.
Right.
And so it's a unique way to do science.
Ngasi tumalgol wasi ngaruba malgol wasing ayay gidel ko radi tamara la collecta asel bol mer expedition nganya ko rawal archive ko kitmo kalbasel langay rogul daytal mo lang yang idila kasbel mosoy sebe o spegel dayta toro basel uldas wasi kalel gu qariyar be bir adol ko am subi la mesa ayay gidel daytal gu kamam la collecta e gu kul bitirak mo ngoral gu pes met gora kay sel sira gal uldas weda edo subul moral mo malungil. Wow, very interesting and very rewarding, you know. I mean, imagine, without a ship like yours and any other ship that's doing the same work around the world, there's no way we can understand what's going on down there. I mean, as Palawans, the deepest we've gone is, just outside the reef, about 20 meters, where our breath can reach for fishing. That's the deepest we've gone to. And so, we never really know what's out there. When the PNMS came up, I don't know if you saw this display at the aquarium. When the law that mandate the closure of our exclusive economic zone was passed in 2015. But in 2020, that's when the complete ban on fishing. And so before that, our education department, they just went out and asked a bunch of school children, hey, what do you think live down there? Did you see that display? Yeah. Man, some kids have like a weird and incredible ideas of what's going on down there. Because, we don't know anything about that place. And so with this kind of work, I'm sure as we head into the future, we can understand some things, and hopefully we can, find something that's, can make a difference when it comes to conservation and marine protection,
We will find it. And I think also, like, one of the most rewarding things about what we do is exactly what you were just saying. It's engaging the youth. And so making sure that everybody can see a potential pathway for themselves and in the world of ocean conservation and ocean exploration.
Exactly.
And so we will be providing opportunities for local students and local educators to get involved. So we will be putting a call out for that in the near future. But Megan can talk a little bit more about it.
Absolutely. So the role of answering questions and asking questions and talking with students from the ship, as well as learning, being an ROV pilot. So if you like, working with tools, if you like fixing your truck, if you're the kind of mechanical person that's interested in that, there's roles on the ship for you. If you like to be a storyteller, if you're the friend taking pictures or like making great videos with your friends, there's a role for that on board. If you are the person that wants to learn about animals and wants to learn how the ocean is connected and be a scientist, there's a role for that. So, we want students to see themselves. We're so excited to have, Ocean Explorer Elsie Tilley on our team now and to have more people from Palau in that role so we can see that, because learning about the ocean and caring for the ocean is everybody's job. So the more we can, and this work's exciting. It's really fun to see these things we've never seen before. So, as we get into this is just the start of this process, and we have about a year to go of planning it. So stay tuned on the radio, online, and the newspaper. We'll be sharing these opportunities to get paid, to come to sea, to be part of this, whether that's online, at home, at sea, lots of different ways to be part of the story.
I see. Tamal ko lo sesel tialuro longot mo kuri el almong ang tabala sa mulgora a plan el seguir el October expedition maselemeng sibira rangal ka school participate ay program si ilo mes ni live ra a Facebook ruang kale da nela dire ko sei klor parte tialure rira ada sala sega dimsubo kadamsubo dire ko lomer tial tial walgora wes maigal toldo suba do mergel mora tokol adlen soda bol tokol adlen madin lasi tial PNMS ngara tetela alsel e wangara ngara gelungi ral do spe en mos edel el gore meli gut muklim mo ngil mo oklung yoli adrablu seguidi akora partra. And I understand just last year or early this year, King Sam, he's been working, he's a PNMS project manager. He's been working with partners to come up with a monitoring strategy, which I'm sure, in the future we'll be able to either refine the monitoring protocol, or you will know by looking at that monitoring protocol, you will understand what our needs are. And I'm sure with this boat, you can probably help to address some of our needs.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So we actually were involved in one of the early workshops to develop that science strategy, as were many scientists from other places.
Right.
But it's exactly what you mentioned, is that now we have a first starting of a framework of what the priorities for the sanctuaries are. And that's what our organization is really committed to, is trying to answer the priority needs. There's so much in the sanctuary, it has so many diverse, and we'll only have about a month to and so how do we best use that time at sea to answer as many questions? And that's also why we're here this week, is to listen to all those priorities, and so that we design an expedition that answers as many questions as we can while we're out there exploring.
I see. أقوى قلت ولل العراق ده قصلوا أم إلى ملين العراق يسألوا لكن عملت ماكين تريل الأضربة درجة الإنبول بتأييد لورا مع مرين ساكسواري متريال الباتريال outside يجيت مكليس الوضع سين غرباي الوضع تراك كرني ما نيجي تيال مرين ساكسواري عيدال تورا دبل مع أقلال غالسين إلا سيجد الغرباء ذو تراك كرني قاعدة دانيال المرقول سي سلم إلى الأمر اللي ملي إن مل والغرو غرقر هذا ومش سيجد ولا سي تيال بلا وغرقل وال priority نيه ما إلا سلمت تومس سيجد priority إدري الغرو غرقر هذا سي مغرا جيم سوميل غرا تراك بتمقل جيجد ما إلا توميتين لو بنتراك عروس الموتلين را قبل من تبلاو وسيسلتا متبضوق لو مش سيجد الملام قتمقل سيلسترا سيميل قتمقل لولتوي رجل نيتس مالوبن سوري را أدر بلاو متيالو رير وضع نير إلى لو بتيال ديال المي عمل ده عدل تلمسو تميل ديرك القرآن أو مش راسين مغراض السوير بلاو القط مقيت تيجيد القط مقلب بيبير أورور تيجيد البلدقلة قال السواد عبول مقط مقل الملاملوش نغاب بير تميل التوي سيجيد البلدقلة يجيد السواد ملاش من المطمقلة يجيد المو ومسئول وسوقيد يجيد السواد المو مدين رأسل تيال بلول باشير جيد. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, so it's good. It's good that the strategy is out there. So it's kind of not so much going into the woods blindly.
Yeah, we have a
you just come. You have the priority. So I'm sure when you come back next year after this trip, now you know everything. When you come back next year, I'm sure work will be like boom, boom. Hit the spots and try to get as much as we get. Yeah, like you mentioned, it's expeditions. I never really know exactly how much it is, but I know it's expensive. Just basic research. Our center, every time the boat leaves the center to do a coral reef monitoring, you're talking about $800. And it's only a small boat with a couple of researchers on driving inside the reef. Yeah. Imagine a huge ship with 50 crews and 1 month supplies of food. So it's a big task. So you guys are right. Every time you go out there, you try to get as much as you can because it's not worth just going over there and come back with
absolutely
with a little information. So Daniel, you guys, thank you very much. That's pretty much things that we want to cover. We we cover the purpose of your coming and how you're going to help us trying to address some of these the needs we have in regards to our marine sanctuary. Program kita di mettegi de gadmo musimr leng tira ewaklog ingiril mo obisa da itorio mong kadamal mena sulil waseng no sebel tegi del tial dilit tira. So the name of your vessel is Nautilus. Dilit tira ang klela Nautilus ngal kadarm. In Palawan Nautilus is kadarm. Kadarm. Kedarm. That's Nautilus in our language.
We'll have to rename it for the expedition.
Yeah, we put a temporary sticker over the Nautilus. Tirigal adra Ocean Exploration Trust, ang klesel dilira akadarm, Nautilus. Tirigal kadmal mga sulin mo si Ilmer elal buil, el mal di mekor ome se tral gora avandori. Agil mo tetele la balda claurerir se le mera otri il buir tial merrak. Mang clock to tler tial lomrolil mlei magad mo ka ngay le tial lurerir a mal clo abel ngsuir git tial PNMS git tial Palau Marine Sanctuary. Ya ora bil center amalmol mel loro lo bongela wai git al alaf ma bebira al adel interested git mang mo sab edel mosab edel maral gora tongsugi del gutmok lagel luror niya di als edel digit gutmok magada mutmal me asulir Daniel at this time did you want to say anything to close the program or a final word?
Yeah, just thank you so much for time, and we are so excited. And as I said, I think the main thing, if we want to invite people to, on their own time, check out nautiluslife.org, learn, get a little bit of a feel about our expedition. There's a lot of content there, and we're really excited to work here with communities and stakeholders here in Palau to understand this treasure that we have here, this underwater treasure that is the sanctuary, and work together. So thank you so much for having us.
Saya mo osmital program rigid le do mesra tamen dimne atru ilbung mawang ma komal masam no sibil tunin oren sa tial special sure elal afternoon ma tial mel tuste dulu telomu usel selbe goral sure gid la Bruxelles komal sulang.
Yeah,